Screaming like the start of a race. Diet Pepsi's my fuel in this Monday maze. Shake the weekend fog off my tired face. The hustling begins, no time to waste. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Sun clouds up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Street lights fading, sun climbs up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, I own the show. Know that we can be heavy, but I'm tougher still. Climbing the mountain, fueled by will. Each heartbeat whispers, yes you can. I'm golden, helping every woman and man. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The crowd won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show.
Hey guys, what's up? It is Monday Motivation Night. Welcome in, everybody. If you do not know who I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I am the host of your Monday Motivation, as I am for all Monday Motivation. So welcome in. I also do auctions on my channel and other channels as well. But I do them on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, most Fridays, and any other time I can throw an auction in. So there's other great things that go on. But if this is your first time here for Monday Motivation, welcome in. I am so glad to have you. Let me know that you're here. Come in and say hello. I appreciate Kathy so much. Kathy put a post out there on her YouTube channel inviting people to come in. It just really touched my heart, Kathy, that you did that and what you had to say. And so thank you so very much for doing that. So if you are new, welcome in. I try to make this as safe of a place for everybody, for us to come together and just, talk about the different topics and anything else that we need to discuss. So make sure you do all the YouTube things. You subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure you ring that bell for all notification and a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. You do it at the beginning or on your way out. No big deal. As long as you do one, I would greatly appreciate that. So, as I stated earlier, welcome to our new people. If you are new, welcome in. I'm so glad that you are here. I hope you'll continue to come back. And you might check out some of the auctions sometimes as well. All my OGs, as I see you popping in, thank you for being here as always. This would not be possible without all you guys for your continued support and everything. And then also my playback crew. Thank you for being here. Let me know that you're the playback crew. I always love to know who is watching this at a later time, which goes to show you don't have to catch me live, but it is a little bit more intimate when you are here. So you can participate in the chat as y'all discuss different things. And then also participate in the chat participation questions as well. That's a new thing I started this year. I started in the chat participation questions to kind of get the chat to interact more with what I was discussing and everything. But I make it worth your while. I do a monthly drawing for the chat participation questions. So when you participate in a chat question, when I announce that, you will get a star and you will get entered into the monthly drawing. I do those on the first of the month of every Monday of the month. And then we also do a hashtag drawing. So I haven't got to drop some shorts in a while. Y'all know the reason why. But yeah, if you go back starting the first of the month, no matter what month it is, and you have until midnight, whatever the last day of the month it is, put in the hashtag in the comment. That's all you got to do is comment with the hashtag that I give you in the video, and you get entered into the drawing. Now, you have to watch the video because sometimes I do throw a trick in there. I usually make it easy, but sometimes I like to throw a trick in there. Just make sure people are watching and they get the right hashtag in. So welcome in, everybody. Let's see who all is in chat. I've been jibber jabbering for a while. As you can tell, if you were over on Hometown Country Marketplace Dream Chasers a second ago when we did an auction over there, Selena was here with me. She's in her timeout room right now, so I can concentrate on my notes and share with y'all tonight's topic and everything. No, she's really just resting. So let's see. We got Lisa D in here first. Welcome in, Lisa D. Good to see you. We got Selena, of course, here. Welcome in, my feather sister. We got Kathy here. Hey, Kathy. Welcome in. So good to see you. Sweet Joanne. Welcome in. So good to see you, as always. Let's see. And I'm going to remember that I said hello to you, right? I always want to make sure everybody is included, and I cannot stand it if I can't remember if I said hello to you or not. So, hey, Nancy, welcome in. Good to see you, Nancy. And we got Jimmy Mac. When are you coming back? Welcome in, Jimmy. So good to see you. All right. Am I caught up? Yes. So, as I always tell you guys, there's a lot of great things going on the YouTube. People will come in as they get the notification. People will be bouncing in and out, and that's fine. I know there's a lot of great things going on, and those of you that are here, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. All right, real quick, because I always like to see who is winning in the crowns. We got Nancy in first place. Congratulations, Nancy. We got Joanne in second, and we got Kathy in third. So there we go. Y'all see the numbers out to the side of your name? They usually only show the first, second, and third, I think, usually. If you see that, that's just something that YouTube does. That's not in my control or anything, but it gets crazy in here if you're new. It gets crazy in here because I find out who are my competitors in chat so quickly. So, hello, Shelby. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Always like to know that you're here. So feel free to yell at me or whatever. So I always want to say hello. Don't want to leave anybody out. All right. Hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. Yeah, Kathy. My weekend, as y'all know, was long and a good kind of worn out. Last Thursday, Robert and I drove 5 hours to Nashville and 5 hours back to go get Selena and bring her back here. That was on Thursday. And then Friday, I took Selena to a few yard sales Friday morning. And then we went to an estate sale. And then I took her to what a live auction really is in person. So she got a taste of that. It's my favorite local auction house that I support a whole lot. They're probably about the only people I buy from around here in Arkansas. There's other estate companies that do online auctions that you can bid at. But this auction house that I go to is, I say sold. It's John Soji and his crew. I just support them tremendously. I'm really close to him and his girlfriend Angie, and they're just really good. The prices are always good and fair. And so I took her. I was like, hey, this is our chance. I was off work. Why not? Let's go to a live auction. And they give you like a little like an index card with your number, and you just throw it up there. And I mean, it was too easy to constantly do that, but it was so much fun. And I think Selena had a lot of fun. I know she learned a lot that day and everything. So I hope she really did have a good time. It was a lot of fun, and just to watch her facial expressions and everything. So that was really nice. And then after that, we went to the Goodwill bins and spent about an hour or two out there. And then Saturday we worked at the flea market, and then Sunday we went to the church sale, and 3 estate sales, and then we worked at the flea market until close, and then we had an auction over on Black Widow's channel. So it has been a long weekend and a tiring weekend. And then I got great news yesterday that I was getting to work from home today. And so, I've been here trying to get stuff in control and so forth. So I will work this week, and then I'm taking all next week off so I can spend time with Selena, and then of course the weekend. So, and then real quick, I've never seen Selena go to bed early until she got with me. Y'all know she cuts me off at 10:30 when we're talking at night. Last night she was in bed by 9:30, guys. 9:30. We are having so much fun, but we are constantly going because we're trying to squeeze in everything that we possibly can together. And so we're just wearing each other out with all that running around. So definitely a fun weekend. Definitely been a blast, and it's only started. So tonight's topic is called "It Didn't Look Right." And you know how when you look at something, you're like, just doesn't look right. I've heard Selena say that about her decorating. It just doesn't look right. Hey, Robin, welcome in. Good to see you. But you're like, it just doesn't look right. Maybe it's yourself, if you've done your makeup or your hair. You're like, yeah, I don't like that. Or maybe it's a piece of artwork or rearranging the furniture. But tonight we're going to be talking about how habits can sometimes not be right or look right for us. And so that's why we have to make it obvious. You will remember we discussed this last week, and I'm going to remind you what it was that we discussed last week after we do this. Positive spot thought, guys. It pays to be obvious, especially if you have a reputation for subtle. That would be me. Don't be too clever for an audience. Make it obvious. Make the subtleties obvious also. So that is tonight. I thought those quotes were very fitting for tonight. Real quick, Selena said that she slept her best out here. So it's been stupid hot, but she loves our central heat and air. We don't have the heat on, but we got the air going, right? And then Joanne said, it's always my hair that don't look right. That's how I feel about mine. Y'all see how mine is. It is so hot here, guys. Like we are in the 90s, but it feels like we're 100 something. And so my hair has been up all weekend long, and I normally don't wear my hair up. So it's been stupid hot here. So last week, we talked about how building a habit can be simplified into 4 key steps. Anybody remember those 4 key steps that we talked about? They were cue, craving, response, and reward. That's what we discussed last week. And we reviewed how that works when we break it down. And then we broke those 4 things down by laws. And the first law that goes with the cue is make it obvious, which is all about tonight's topic. Make it obvious. Whew, yes, so hot. Joanne said it's 97. Lisa D said hot up in Wisconsin too, under heat advisory all weekend, and still are. Really hot. So chat participation time. We're going to go ahead and start out the starting gate. Chat participation time. Can you look at your spouse, or maybe it's your significant other, maybe it's kids or friends, for those of you that might not be married or with anybody, and you just know that something doesn't look right? Or if you're daring, have you told someone if they had on like a particular outfit or their makeup done a certain way, and you told them, you don't look right? Either one of those. Can you just look at someone and know that, hey, they just don't look right? Something's not right. Something's wrong with them. Something looks wrong on them, whatever it may be. I'm just curious. Or if you want to be daring enough and let us know, do you ever let that person know that they don't look right? I think so too, Lisa D. We're all overheated. Shelby says, yes, I can tell if they look sad. Very good. Anybody else? Right, Kathy? Kathy says, yes, I do. It depends on the person, right? Those that we really know really well, I would think. Lisa D said, smile or not smiling? Yes. Nancy says she does let them know. Good job. And then Selena said, yes, some people, and I let them know if I'm concerned, right? Selena can always tell with me. She'll be like, okay, girl, talk to me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. It's usually how that goes. It's either going to be, I don't feel like talking, or nothing's wrong with me, or it goes into, bleh, I tell her everything. Joanne says, I can tell if things don't look right. Right, Shelby? Yeah, tears flowing. Yes. And Lisa D says, smiling or not smiling. Now, that can work to your benefit. If you smile, people will just wonder what you're up to anyways, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, right? All right. Maybe you have looked at your spouse or your kids or a family member or whoever, and you thought they just don't look right. Something's out of place, or they don't look good. They look flush or whatever. Yes, it is 87, I think, here too, Robin. Yes, because you're right next to me. Right? Selena says, you can tell when my switch was flipped and I'm angry. Yes. Kathy said, I asked someone how long they had depression. She yelled at me saying she wasn't depressed or angry. That's a big clue, right? Lisa D says, storming bad here. I hope don't lose internet or power again. Oh my gosh. So earlier, real quick, and I'll get back on course. Hey, Aisha, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. We had lightning here. It never did rain here, but the clouds got cloudy and dark, and we had one big bolt of lightning. Robert and I were sitting in the living room. Selena was in her room. And I saw the streak of lightning. Robert saw the flash. And I mean, it was loud. Like, my heart jumped out of my chest. It scared me so bad. And Robert was even kind of shaken by it. And Selena, we just hear Selena in her room yelling whatever it was. I think she was on the phone with Sandy. And we walked in there. And she's like, my heart is pounding. Like, it sounded like it was right by our house. Like, it just happened right on our house. So I don't know, but it never did storm here, is what I'm getting at. So maybe some of you might have a degree in a medical field, or someone that has a degree in the medical field, and they can just tell immediately if somebody doesn't look right, or you've been around long enough to know that someone doesn't look right. And so when something doesn't look right, it can be so obvious that it doesn't look right. And there are certain career fields that where something may not look right, but usually someone is going to be trained to look for those things that don't look right. For example, a military analyst. During the Gulf War, Lieutenant Commander Michael Riley saved an entire battleship when he ordered for a missile to be shot down. Despite the fact, here's the key thing, despite the fact that it looked exactly like the battleship's own planes on the radar. He made the right call, but even his superior officers couldn't explain how he did it. There's museum creators, or a designer, or even some well-trained resellers, I would say, that have been known to discern the difference between an authentic piece and an expertly produced counterfeit, even though they might not be able to tell you precisely what tipped them off, but something didn't look right. How about hairdressers? Did y'all know that hairdressers, they can sometimes know a woman is pregnant maybe before they even know they're pregnant, or they say anything to their hairdresser based on just the feel of the hair. So many different fields out there can know that something isn't right without us knowing that they know it, it doesn't look right. Hey, Harry, welcome in. Good to see you. Hey, cool. Welcome in, sister. Well, good to see you. You're not late. We just got started. All right. Awesome. Shelby's talking about doing CNA class at her school. That's always a good thing. Good job. So, yeah, many fields, industries, careers have that. Think of like the paramedics and ENT and stuff like that. The human brain acts like a prediction machine. It constantly is absorbing information from the environment, and then it processes it. And when you encounter something repeatedly, like a paramedic recognizing a heart attack patient or a military analyst spotting a missile on a radar screen, your brain begins to highlight what really matters. Hey, Steph, welcome in. Good to see you. Did you get your listing done? That's all I care about. I think you were listing when I went over there. Oh, you're fine, Steph. I was thinking Friday was Saturday, whenever we were on that day. Oh, tell her happy birthday from me. Cool. That's so sweet. 78th birthday. Barbecue ribs, strawberry cake, and fixing. We got strawberry cake here. Robert made strawberry cake. In fact, I told him, I said, if I'm running over, will you please cut me or get me a slice of cake and just put it on a plate, and that way I don't disturb him, And so, anyways, yes, I love strawberry cake. So, your brain, like I said, it highlights what really matters. It sifts through the details. It identifies the important cues, and then it stores that knowledge for a future reference. With enough practice, you'll start to recognize the cues that hint at certain outcomes without even thinking about it. Your brain naturally absorbs the lessons from your experiences. Sometimes it's hard to put into words what you're learning, but rest assured, growth is happening all the time. The key to every habit that you develop, it lies in your ability to notice those important cues in any situation. It's amazing how much our brains and bodies achieve without us even thinking about it. I mean, think about it. You don't need to remind your hair to grow, your heart to beat. You don't have to remind your lungs to breathe or your stomach to digest the food, yet your body, it manages this all the time. All these crucial tasks that we got going on in our bodies, it almost like it's on autopilot. Remember, you're so much more than just your conscious thoughts. So let's do another chat participation time. Here's a funny one for you. How do you know when you're hungry? How do you know that you're hungry? It's an easy question. We're just going to make it fun. How do you know when you're hungry? Do you get hangry? Me, I get hangry. How do you know when you're hungry? Chat participation time. Shelby says stomach growling, right? Yeah, sometimes my stomach will make the most god-awful noise. Lisa D says my tummy feels empty. Yes. Cool Ranch also says her stomach growls at her. Yes. Selena says her belly yells at me. Joanne, yes. Stomach growls, or she just thinks she is. How many of us do that, right? We don't think we might have just ate 20 minutes ago, but we're hungry. We feel like we're starving all of a sudden, right? We just think we are. Robin says, tummy growl. Yes. Nancy Smith says, your body tells you are hungry, stomach growling. Kathy said, that's hard. I'm recovering anorexic, so I still struggle with hunger or stress. Thank you, Kathy, for sharing that. I love it when y'all feel like y'all can just be vulnerable here. That's good to know, too. Because I've never been anorexic. I don't know what that's like. So, yes, thank you, Kathy. Steph says she feels on autopilot lately. You're just going through the motions, right? Yes, hunger pains. There are times I have hunger pains. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Sugar drops. Oh my goodness. That's the most awful feeling in the world. When Robert and I were in Kentucky, I had that happen. Just all of a sudden, I ate breakfast. Don't get me wrong, I ate breakfast. Might not have been the healthy breakfast. But we were at a store and I was checking out and I was standing in line. I told Robert, I said, I need you to stand here for a second. I got to go sit in that chair. Went and sat in a chair and I just felt even worse. I was like, I got to go out to the car and get the fresh air on me, because I was really feeling sick. And the only thing I could think of is my sugar just dropped on me. That's what happened. All right. So, you don't have to see a cookie on the counter and realize it's time to eat, right? We have talked about the feedback loops last week, and then we talked just a little bit about the week before, but we talked about it a couple of weeks now, about the feedback loops. And your body has a system of feedback loops that gently signals when it's time to eat. Again, and it keeps tabs on both your inner and outer environment. Cravings can spring up due to hormones and chemicals that flow through our system. And before you know it, you find yourself hungry, even though you may not quite understand what triggered it. All right, make sure I haven't missed anything. Steph, you still haven't answered. Have you listed? That's all I want to know. So one of the most surprising things about our habits is that you don't have to consciously notice the trigger for them to kick in. You can spot an opportunity and act on it almost automatically without even thinking about it. That's what makes habits so valuable. This is also, yay! This is also what makes them potentially dangerous as well. As we develop habits, our actions begin to be guided by the automatic subconscious part of our minds. So before you know it, you may find yourself slipping into familiar behaviors without even realizing it. For example, you may not notice that you cover your mouth with your hand when you laugh, or that you tend to apologize before asking something. You might even catch yourself finishing maybe other people's sentences as well. And the more you repeat those behaviors, the less likely you are to reflect on what you're doing and why it even matters. One time at the store, the checkout person was instructed to cut up empty gift cards when the customer had used up the balance on the card. They were told to just cut them up and throw them away. One day, the checkout person had a few customers that had used gift cards, and they were all empty by some wild chance. Was cutting those up, each customer that came through. And so the checkout person had, cut those up. Well, then another customer walks up, and they used a credit card to pay for their purchase. And y'all can already know what probably happened. The checkout person automatically grabbed that card, took the scissors, and cut the credit card in half. And then when they looked up and saw how stunned the customer was, they realized then, too late, what they had already done. So you just get on autopilot. You're just like, oh, cut up the credit or the gift card, cut up the gift card, cut up the gift card. Oh, So someone that might have been a teacher or maybe another field that had to watch children And they'll ask things, can you imagine working in an office industry, and you go to the bathroom with your coworkers and they come out of the bathroom stall and you're like, did you wash your hands, little Jimmy? But they've been so programmed to ask the kids, did you wash your hands, that they find that has transpired or, has come over into this other field that they're no longer have to watch kids, but it's just an automatic, response. And then, yelling at adults to quit horseplaying, quit running, they just automatically do it. Right? Cool. I mean, it might have been a good thing that they cut up the card, but hey, it starts with one, Steph. It starts with one. One. That's all that matters. So yeah, these people, I'm sure y'all have seen them. They're like, oh my gosh, quit running, and they're like, I'm a full grown adult. I can run if I want to. But as time goes on, the triggers for our habits become so familiar that we hardly notice them anymore. Think about the snacks sitting on that kitchen counter, the remote control that's always resting right there next to the couch or the recliner, or the phone that's always in our back pocket or in our purse. It always goes to the same place. We don't even think about it sometimes. And sometimes that's when we misplace it. We're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with it? But our reaction to these triggers are so ingrained that it can feel like the urge to act comes out of nowhere. That's why it's essential to kick off any change in our behavior with a sense of awareness, making it obvious. To successfully build new habits, we first need to understand our existing ones. And this can be trickier than it seems, because once a habit becomes ingrained in our lives, it often operates on autopilot. And it's just beneath our awareness, just beneath that radar line, And if we don't take the time to examine our mindless habits, we can't hope to improve them. As a psychologist, Carl Jung, I've talked about him before, he wisely noted that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it late. Fate, not late, fate. I'm late. Chat participation time. Let's do another one here, guys. How many of y'all have played either pet golf, or you played Yahtzee, or some other game that you had to keep a scorecard? Who all has done that? And then I want to know, why did you keep a scorecard? Why did you keep up with a scorecard? If you played pet golf, that's one thing I could think of. If you played Yahtzee, or maybe it was some other game that you had to keep up points and so forth. Have you ever done that? And then why did you do it? Kathy says me. Selena says me. Harry says me. Y'all getting those stars tonight. Lisa D says me. Okay, you're all saying you've done it. Why did you do it? That's what I want to know also. Why did you do it? Steph says Yahtzee. Nancy, thank you. Nancy says, whoops, me, to know who wins, right? Lisa D says to see who wins. Yes. Harry says, keep score because we like to win, right? And then I get frustrated when Robert's beating me up putt-putt, and I'm like, throw the thing away. I don't care who wins, I am so competitive, and I'm such a sore loser before I even lose, because I'm like, I don't even want to know now. I'm done. Cool says me, because I wanted to prove to Mike that I was better at putt-putt than he was. Yes. I think we played putt-putt golf over there, somewhere over there, but maybe that was down in Florida. Robert and I have traveled so much now, it's all starting to run together. Habit from other games? Yes, Kathy. Steph said, because my mom was the biggest cheat. Selena said, because I wanted to beat the butt out of it because I'm competitive. Joanne said, yes, I didn't think about that, Joanne. Good one. Me, bowling. I don't know why, because I'm not so good at it anyways, right? That's the way I feel. Put the bumpers up, let me roll the ball down the lane. Well, yeah, they got to change. If we're not winning, we got to change the rules so we can win. So, I don't know if you know this, but there's also a habit scorecard. How many of us verbally called out the most essential items that we need when we're packing for a trip? Or we make a list of everything that we think we're going to need every time before we go on a trip. Or maybe it's just for the day. If you're, got kids and stuff, and you got to take them to school, and you got to remember exactly what you need to take for them, and then plus you for work, right? It's a quick outing. And in our minds, we're like, okay, I've got my keys, I've got my purse or my wallet, my phone, my glasses, my kids, my husband. Okay, check. I think I got them all. And as behaviors become more automatic, we tend to stop thinking about them consciously. And then after doing something 1,000 times, it's so easy. I've had this happen more times than I can count. It's so easy to overlook important details like, God, I forgot my pills. Now I'm not going to sleep because I left my pills at home and we're 500 miles away or whatever. Cool Ranch says, daily checklist. I do it every morning. Problem is I never complete them all, right? And I think we talked about that before. It wasn't an issue of not completing them all, is that you check some things off that list. I do this as well, Lisa D. I will text myself. In fact, Selena can witness that because Selena and I were out and about Friday, and I was like, hey, I'm going to make taco ring tonight. Can you text me? And I gave her my list of what I need to make sure I got at the store. Yes, I do that all the time. Kathy says list, I think. Harry says, learned you got to take the good with the bad. Life's not about us winning all the time. Sometimes we lose, and it teaches learn to do better in life, and that it is okay not to win all the time. I know, but still. Very good point, Harry. Love it. You get a star. But we often assume that what happens next will be just like what happened before. We're so accustomed to our routine that we rarely pause to ask ourselves if it's truly the right approach. Many times our mistakes, they stem from simple lack of self-awareness. One of the toughest parts of changing our habits is simply being aware of what we're actually doing throughout the day. And this is why the negative effects of bad habits can catch us off guard so quickly. And what we really need is sort of a point and call system, if you will, for our everyday lives. And that's where the habit scorecard comes in. It's a straightforward exercise designed to help you recognize your behaviors. And to get started, all you got to do is just simply jot down a list of your daily habits. Maybe you're like me. I've listed mine off to you guys multiple times. Maybe on your list you have wake up, turn off alarm, check your phone, use the bathroom, weigh yourself. Maybe you take a shower and then brush your teeth, put on deodorant, hang up your towel that you use to dry off. You blow dry your hair. If you have to blow dry your hair, if you got hair to blow dry. You get dressed, and then maybe you go and have breakfast, and then you go back and brush your teeth. Whatever that list is. Like I've shared with y'all before, that about sums up what my morning is. I have to feed Bella. I do need to put that in there. Feed Bella. Because if Bella ain't happy, nobody's happy in this house. Forget about Mama. But once you compiled your complete list, whatever that may be, getting up in the morning, going to bed at night, whatever, throughout the day, you want to take a moment and evaluate each behavior or habit that you have. And you need to ask yourself whether it's a positive habit, is it a negative habit, or is it neutral? And then what you would do is you will just simply, if it's a positive habit, after you completed your list, you're going to go back and look at them. If it's a positive habit, you're going to put a plus sign out to it to the side of it. If it's a negative habit, you're going to put a minus. And then if it's a neutral habit, you're just going to put an equal sign. Easy peasy. Super easy. This is exactly how you can know what are good habits and what are bad habits and what are, whatever habits. Cool Ranch says I try to keep my list to only 10 to-dos, right? And I'm such a check-off person. Like, I'll do it at work. Or even here at home, I'll make a list, and it just feels good to scratch it off or check it off, whatever you do. It just feels good. Joanne said, that's my list too. First thing is bathroom, right? Yes. And then feed the cat, and because she can't wait. No, the animals do not wait. Our fur babies cannot wait. Yes, love that, Cool Ranch. 10 so you don't get overwhelmed. So, again, I'm going to give you an example in case you're maybe a little confused on this still. If we did our list again on getting up in the morning, maybe our equal signs or neutral habits would be, waking up, turning off the alarm. Sometimes those can be negative because it's like, I don't want to go to work. Neutral would be maybe going to the bathroom or hanging your towel to dry, getting dressed. Those would be all neutral habits. They just need to be done, right? Our negative signs which would be the minuses that I was telling you about, would be checking our phone. How many of us do that? Before we even get out of bed, we're checking our phone. We're checking email. We're checking, for me, it's usually my email. Then I'm checking notification on Facebook. I'm checking notification in Poshmark. Whatever it may be. I'm doing all those things. I'm looking at YouTube, seeing those notifications. Then I jump over to my YouTube studio to see if I got any new subscribers, if I, where I'm at on monetization, that kind of thing. And then I'll finally get out of bed. So maybe that's a negative for you. It might not be. But that would be a negative one. And then our plus signs, the positive would be, maybe you're one that likes to weigh yourself in the morning. Taking a shower, brushing your teeth, putting on deodorant. We all don't want to smell, right? And maybe having our breakfast because we all need that fuel, that energy in the morning. Mary, how are you? It's so good to see you. Robin, I used to sleep through alarms, and now I'm waking up before the alarm goes off. Like, really? And even on days I'll have to get up early, it's like, why am I still up at 6? Because the sun's coming through my daggum window. I've talked to Cool Ranch about getting, because I have a bay window in my bedroom, and I've talked about getting blackout curtains, and she's the one that told me, they make rods for bay windows. I'm like, no. She's like, it'd be so easy. You get the panels that you need and, have your blackout curtains. And I was like, really? And then I was like, but maybe that's not a good thing, because then maybe I would want to sleep too long and not get up. And with the sun coming in, it gets me up. So I'm torn on that now. Harry says, I know a few mornings I felt like throwing the phone out the window, right? Yes. But Mary, yes, she said, check phone, deliveries, weather, notices. Yes. Lisa D says, depends on how bad I have to go potty if I check it before I get out of bed. Yep, sometimes it's get up, take the phone with you. At least for me. Let's see. I'm so glad to see you, Mary. Kathy says, I tried the spoon theory, but some days I'm using forks, and that's a negative. I love that. I have to check that out, Kathy. Thank you. Now, again, like I stated, some of those are going to be different, with the pluses and the minuses and the equal signs than what I gave them. They're going to be different for you than what I marked something. Something might be a positive for you that's not a positive for me, or something might be a negative for me that's not a negative for you. Whatever. Everybody's going to have different ones. Cool says, I'll see you pictures of my bay window in the dining room the way I tie them to limit the sunlight. All right, cool. Do that, cool. All right. Now, for the way you evaluate a habit really depends on your personal goals and your circumstances. We all have different ones. And if you're trying to shed some pounds munching on a bagel with peanut butter, here's the example. If you're trying to shed the pounds and you're munching on a bagel with peanut butter each morning, might not be the best choice, at least with the bagel part, right? But on the other hand, if you're looking to build muscle, that same breakfast could actually be a smart move. It all boils down to what you're aiming for. Evaluating your habits can be tricky for another reason. The terms good habit and bad habit, it can be misleading. In reality, there aren't truly good or bad habits. There are only habits that are effective in addressing certain issues. And every habit, including the less desirable ones, it fulfills a need, which is why we tend to repeat them. So for this exercise that I just shared with you, you need to think about your habits in terms of their long-term benefits. Generally, effective habits lead to positive outcomes, while ineffective ones result in the negative ones, right? Makes sense. For instance, smoking a cigarette might help you feel less stress in the moment. That's the benefit. But isn't a healthy choice for the long haul. If you're struggling to figure out how to rate a specific habit, try asking yourself the simple question: does this behavior help me become the person that I aspire to be? Or does it support or undermine my desired identity? Generally, habits that align with the person you want to become are the positive ones, while those that clash with your identity are the negative ones. All makes sense. Harry says, yeah, my doctor called today, told me I need to start eating things like yogurt and drinking milk and eating nuts and stuff. No candy. I'm going to miss my candy, right? Who all can relate? Yes. All right, let's do another chat participation. Chat participation time. Can you give me an example of a habit that you want to set that you know you can answer those questions I gave you? Is there an example of a habit that you're wanting to set that you know that you can answer the questions that I gave you? Does this behavior help me become the person I aspire to be? Does it support or undermine my desired identity? It's always worth it. Sugar's horrible. It's always worth it. But is it fun? No. No, it's not fun. So, what is a habit that you have wanted to set, that you recently set, whatever that may be, and does it support or undermine your desired identity? For me, my habit has been getting up at 6:30 or before my alarm goes off. Do all those things I told you, get Bella fed, I eat breakfast, and then I come in here and I do at least 3, maybe to 5 listings because it benefits me in the long run as far as income goes. Just an example. Mary says attending devotions keeps her on track. So it is something that supports who she is as a person. Thank you, Mary. You get an entry in the chat participation time. So if y'all can think of things, you don't have to share everything, but if you think of anything, just let me know if you want to let anybody know. And again, like I said, as my example, getting up 6:30, while I might give a neutral sign or a minus sign to waking up at 6:30 a.m. and maybe a neutral sign to doing the listing, but the positive sign would be eating breakfast and so forth, chilling out in front of the TV, whatever. Hey, Karen, welcome in. You're fine. Yay, that's awesome. Good news, Karen. Lisa D says, started journal again. Yes, supports me good for me. Yes. I was going to ask you about that. I'm glad you brought that up, Lisa D, because I knew you said that you just started that habit. So congratulations for keeping it up. Steph says, getting up soon after waking up instead of staying in bed, checking all the checks of everything, right? Yes. Mary says, getting up at 3 or 4 a.m. instead of 7, especially when it's so hot later in the day. Yes. Woo. Nancy says she agrees that devotions help her. Kathy says, getting better at ending my day earlier than I want, but what my body needs. Yes, like I am by 10:30. I might be laying there watching TV, but I'm in bed. So, and sometimes we do need those friends that know what's better for us than we know for ourselves too. So I would say Selena is definitely my accountability partner in that she tells me, okay, it's 10:30, talk to you later, love you, bye. And I'm like, I'm not done talking. Paul says, I like to be more consistent with doing my listings on a scheduled basis, right? Yeah, that's why for me, morning time works. Getting up and it being, I know it's coming, I got to do it. And believe me, I've had more days where I've sat there and went, I really don't feel like doing it today. And I'm like, go do it, because then you're going to beat yourself up for not doing it. Which do you want to deal with? Steph says, started journaling almost 2 weeks now. Goal is one positive thing I've done for myself and not others for the day. Yes, love it. Karen says, praying helps her. Yes. Blessing a day. Yes, Kathy. Oh, awesome. The book that she won from chat participation. I told y'all last week I'm going to go get some more of those. Mary says, good job, Lisa. I keep starting my journal, but find other things to do instead. Actually, journaling would have a great effect on my actual behavior. That speaks volume to me, Mary. It's like I'll lay it right there on my nightstand so I remember. But then, I got to iron a shirt, or I got to, my alarm didn't go off in time. I got to go do breakfast or get ready for work, whatever it may be. And so journaling, it just gets put off the side. Yes. Good night, Robin. Kathy says journaling, meditation activities. She is great and funny, yes. That way I can just get it out of the way. That's why I chose morning time. It's done. It's over. I can forget about it until I get to work, and I do flip and schedule my, for it to share my closet multiple times during the day. But yeah, I get those listings done in the morning, and then it's done. I don't have to think about it again. I don't have to do anything until the next day. So, back to the topic. Does this behavior help me become the person I aspire to be? Well, yeah, it's helped me push myself on my business and everything. I want to be able to create my own income with my side business. And so, yes, it makes me work harder and prove that I can do that. That's the biggest thing, is to prove that I can do it. And then look back and go, wow, you come a long way, Scooter. That I can do whatever I set my mind to do. And then the second, does it support or undermine my desired identity? It definitely supports my identity. It's so funny you say that, Karen, because Matt, he'll call me once he gets to work. He's like, are you still in Maumelle? Yes. Can you run by the house and get XYZ? It could be the child's jacket, the lunch, it could be their backpack, whatever. Or I'll get to the office, like, I left my laptop at home. I'm like, do you not put your stuff out by your, like, my bags and my purse are together. My laptop goes there and all that. That way in the morning, all I got to do is grab it and go. I don't have to even think about it. Good. I'm so glad, Lisa D. So as you work on your habit scorecard, just focus on observing your current habits without making any changes at the start. Just rate what you do every morning. You do it, and rate it and everything. And do that without even making any changes at the beginning. And remember that the main aim here is to notice what really is happening. Take a moment to watch your thoughts and your actions without judging them or being hard on yourself. Remember, it's not about blaming yourself for your mistakes, and it's not about giving yourself a pat on the back for your successes. It's just all about being aware, making it obvious. If you find yourself enjoying a donut every morning, take a moment to notice it, almost as if you were observing someone else indulging in that habit. Isn't it fascinating how they would do something like that? Why would they eat a donut every morning? Do they know what pounds are, just kind of, why do they eat a donut every morning? If you tend to binge eat, just pay attention to the fact that you might be consuming more calories than you should. And if you catch yourself spending lots of time online, take a step back and recognize that you're using your time in a way that may not may not prefer to be spending your time. Hey, Salvador, welcome in. Steph says, I rate my mornings as a 0. Wait, that's judgy. Yes, definitely supports your identity. Yes, Mary, always feel free to share it out. Feel free to share it out each week. Definitely. Hey, Lena. Lena says, I lay out clothes and meds for Shadow for each morning. It gives me time each morning to have coffee and get ready for the day before she gets up. Yes. It's so funny. I was doing that with my kids when they were growing up. It was so important to me that I got up before they did so I could kind of have my calm and my peace in the morning. Even if I'm watching TV, doing nothing but watching TV. It was just my time before the crazy started, right? That even now, kids have been gone for a while. It's important to me because I told my boss, I'm like, yeah, I get up at 6:30. He's like, and it still takes you till 8:30, 8:45 to get to work. And I'm like, well, yeah, dude, I got to get up. I got to get my makeup on, get my hair done, but I got to sit down and eat breakfast and watch TV. Yes, it does take me that long. He always told me, he's like, I don't care what time you get here as long as the work gets done. That's all he cares about. So he's like, yeah, I regret ever telling you that. But yes, I still do that now, Lena. And it's just me that I have to worry about. Mary says we focus on changing behavior and motivation. Yes, I love it. Right, Harry? It's just like Pringles chips. You can't eat just one donut, in the morning. That's the only bad thing, especially when it's the little ones. And then you forget how many you've eaten because they are little. Yes, you're speaking my love language there. So, the first step in breaking bad habits is to keep an eye out for them in the first place. If you feel like you could use some extra support, consider trying the technique of the pointing and calling in your daily life. Just say out loud what you're about to do and what may follow. I'm going to eat this donut. For example, if you're trying to reduce your junk food intake and find yourself reaching for a cookie, you might say, I'm about to eat this cookie. I want this cookie. But I don't really need it. But I want it. Eating this could lead to weight gain. But I still want it. And it isn't good for my health. But I still want, that's what goes on in my head every day. We're always talking about, different new things. Cool, yes, we are. All about habits. We are already a month into it. When you hear your bad habits spoken out loud, it makes your consequences feel more real. You're like, maybe I don't need that cookie, even though I want it. It gives those actions a sense of importance rather than allowing you to slip back into familiar routine without thought. This technique can be helpful even if you're just trying to remember something on your to-do list. For example, saying, tomorrow I need to go to the post office after lunch. If you say it out loud, it boosts the chances that you're actually going to follow through. I personally do this quite a bit. I will Be talking to myself, obviously. And I'll say 5 times or more, depends on what it is. Don't forget this. 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 Whatever it may be. Don't forget that package to ship. And I'll say it 4 more times to myself. Or if it's my lunch or drink for work, because usually I'll remember if I say it several times before I go to bed at night. I'll just constantly just say it over and over, and then it sticks. That, or I'll get up and write it down, worst case scenario. And it's kind of like a filing cabinet in your brain, if you will. And it just moves that file up to the top, closer to the front, so you do remember it, which is why I will say it 5 times over. It's a way of recognizing that action is necessary and that awareness can truly make a difference. Behavior change begins with awareness, making it obvious. The first law with the cue that we talked about last week. Techniques like pointing and calling and the habit scorecard is going to help you recognize your habits and identify the triggers behind them. And by doing this, you can respond in ways that truly benefits you. Welcome in, Tammy. Good to see you. No issues over here, knock on wood. So by doing all those things, you can respond in ways that truly benefits you. So let's summarize tonight real quick. We learned that with enough practice, your brain will pick up on the cues that predict certain outcomes without consciously thinking about it. Once our habits become automatic, we stop paying attention to what we are doing. The process of behavior change always starts with awareness, making it obvious, and you need to be aware of your habits before you can change them. Point and calling raises your level of awareness from a non-conscious habit to a conscious habit by verbalizing your actions. And lastly, that habit scorecard is a simple exercise that you can use to become more aware of your behavior. All that in summary. So, all right, guys, we're just 2 minutes and 15 seconds over the hour mark. I want to thank you for starting off your week with me for Monday Motivation. As always, I hope there was something that you could use from tonight's topic. Maybe it's the habit scorecard for you, and make it a good habit for yourself, or get rid of a negative habit if that's something that you wish to do. Tomorrow night, I will be on with my feather sister, Selena, for our one fry short of a Happy Meal at 7:30 p.m. Central. Wednesday night, we will be on over at Josie's Place at 6 p.m. Central. And then Thursday night, yes, it's time for strawberry cake. I don't need it, but I want it. Yes. And then Thursday night, Selena and I will be back at 7:30 p.m. Central. I think Cool Ranch is going to go hang out over on Tracy Cakes. So we might do something fun Thursday night as well. So just come on back and see what it is that we decide to do. And then Friday, we might or might not do a pop-up sometime that day. I know Selena and I are trying to soak in everything that we can do together while she is here. And then I'm going to be on vacation all next week. So we might do Monday Motivation still, or I might just take that night off. But we will be back for more auctions. That's a guaranteed. So if we still do next Monday Motivation, it will be on episode 129. We are moving right along, where we will be discussing starting new habits. And I look forward to that topic and sharing it with you guys. So come on back and let's discuss what that is all about. Thank you, Lisa D. I appreciate it. You're so very welcome. She didn't know she had an accountability partner. Thank you, Harry. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to do the YouTube things, that you subscribe, you ring the bell for all notification, and a thumbs up on your way out if you haven't done it already. Make it a great week. If I don't see you somewhere around the YouTube, guys, remember, it pays to be obvious, especially if you have a reputation for the subtle. Now let's do this thing. Good night, everybody. See you soon.